Hi and welcome everyone. For those of you that are new here, I am Friar Tuck and this is my epoch. And I cover homeless education and awareness and survival, both for preppers and those that are in the homeless community or sympathetic to the homeless. And one of the things that I am starting to hear a lot, whether it be through emails, direct questions, text messages, stuff like that, because I try and keep active with my audience, it kind of helps me understand what questions you have and how to be able to answer them. And so I'm gonna kind of go over some conversations that I've been having with people, because I think that these are common questions. This person just happened to articulate it in just a way to where I could really fully understand the depth of the question, which was, how can I help the homeless? I am somebody who has either been homeless, or might be homeless, or I look at it and see that my situation is better. How can I help the homeless and actually do something good within my community? Because if you've been within the community to help the homeless at any point in time, one of the things that you realize is that sometimes when you think you're doing something good, you could sometimes make the problem worse, or unknowingly make the problem worse, because you're just trying to do good. As the cliche says, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And within the homeless community and those that want to help the homeless, a lot of that happens as well. So what kind of things can you do to help the homeless? We've talked about this a little bit, but the individual that was asking me this question just wanted to figure out a way to be able to help homeless that are a lot like me, people that don't have an addiction, that don't have mental health issues, that have some stability, some ambition, some direction. They're not just kind of out here going pretending to be something they're not, because they're just trying to support a drug habit. And you do see a lot of that out here, and that's usually the face of homelessness. Even though that's not a majority of the homeless, that tends to be the face of homelessness, and that's what people think of when they think of homeless. And that's simply not true. And one of the things that I've learned having this channel over the time that I've had, about 2.5 years now, is that even some of my thoughts and my misconceptions of the homeless community was completely skewed. Because I've got to talk to a lot of people that are able to resonate with me, that have, they're still homeless, but they've gotten away from addiction and their life is better. They enjoy being homeless, but they have gotten clean, and they are able to resonate because they still have ambition. They still want to do things. They're just priorities changed, versus constantly striving to be housed and so on and so forth. And I've also talked to a lot of other people that have never actually developed a drug addiction at all. And I know that it's probably about 1% of the total homeless population, but that's still a lot more than I thought that there were. I thought that there was less than 1%, but I would say that there's anywhere from 1 to 5% of the homeless population that doesn't have any drug issues, chemical dependency issues, any criminal record or mental health issues. They're either out here by circumstance or choice, whether it be economics or a divorce or an injury or other things. They still manage to keep their dignity. So how do you vet people like this if you want to help them? Because that's really where you can do the most good, because as you guys can see, I'm one of those people. And being one of those people, because I'm not constantly fiending after my next fix, and my priorities are a lot different. I'm not thinking, oh boy, I need to go get high right now. I'm thinking, okay, how can I make my life a little bit more comfortable? How can I live out here and be a lot better? That is a more effective way to be able to help people. And there are a lot more people out here like me than I thought. But how do you find these people? And the truth and reality is they're going to be doing the things that I'm doing, which is we're off doing our own thing, doing our own work, trying to do our own grind. You're not really going to see us come into the homeless community, especially those of us that have been out here for long periods of time or have a long history of being out homeless. we generally tend to not even congregate around the homeless population, because we realize that if you want to be the 10th idiot, hang around 9 other idiots. And so you don't want to slide back into where you came from, or even just slide into things that you don't want to do, for those that haven't even developed an addiction or mental health or criminal record. Because if you get too assimilated, there's going to be circumstances in where you get caught, you're just in the wrong place at the right time. And it's like, how can you find these people? How can you vet them? They will make themselves known, but they're not really well known. And a lot of us aren't even really asking for handouts. We're trying to find something that we can do of value within society that will allow us to be able to support our own way and make our own way. I mean, that's why I create content, is because I want to build a channel that will, afford me a decent living, so on and so forth. And just like others that are like me, that have done what I'm doing, again, if there is, it's going to be kind of hard to be able to find us unless you stumble across us. You come across my YouTube channel, that's one thing. But there's, 1,000 other people, 10,000 other people out here like me that could be using help, but they're not as public as I am. So how do you find them? You can always tell a person, even if they try and blend in, that it's about body language, it's about mannerisms and stuff like that. And you see the ones that have the mannerisms but are trying to blend in. It doesn't mean that they're automatically one of these people that you may want to help, that you think may be more effective. But what will really end up happening is, as you take the time to get to know the person, see where they're at, what they're striving for, what their goals are, you will be able to see how best you can help them. For example, there are those that know that I need help with Sam, and I've been talking about wanting to get her quality dog food. Now, a subscriber sent me a gift card through Chewy.com, and I was able to get Sam some like high quality the blue food. Basically it's the best you can get. But Sam deserved a treat as well, because I mean, she's part of the team. She deserves her reward. And so therefore, those that see where I'm lacking, because at this point I can only afford the $7 bag of dog food versus the $21 bag of dog food. There are people that step in and help me take care of my animal because they see that I'm working hard. And sometimes it takes a minute for your energy, for your income to catch up to you, to be sustainable. I mean, it took me almost 2 years before I started making real money at YouTube. Now that I've been doing it for 2 years, I'm finally starting to make enough to where I can afford things without having to constantly beg and say, hey guys, can you help me down in my tip jar? But at the same time, there are still those that see it like, hey, your dog should be eating better. If you had the money, you'd buy it. So therefore, let me help you. And so therefore, they do things like that. And that's how you can, one, effectively help the homeless, is find out where their weaknesses are and where they need help. Like, I needed help because my with the night cat, I made a mistake in getting it. And then I ended up losing money because I had to go into a hammock, or into a tent, and then that tent really didn't last very well. So somebody saw that I needed to really fix it and right my ship, and so therefore I have my hammock set up that I have right now. And just because of circumstances, you're out here. It's not like I can send it back, wait for the money to come back, order a new one, and so on and so forth. No, I'm out here. I don't want to be cowboy camping, especially during rainy season. And so therefore it becomes a more of a pain in the butt. So people see you in that situation. So what did that do? That righted the ship. So now I have the right sleep system, so that now that I can move in the right direction, and I can now focus on putting money aside for things like my van, putting money aside for being able to get inside for a few months, because by next winter, at least for the winter, we want to be inside, and we'll come out on the spring and do trails and stuff like that. And it might be a slow transition inside, but now that I don't have to sit there and keep throwing, because when you're homeless, you take the little bit of money that you get, and you go buy something that's cheap and isn't going to last very long, so all you're doing is getting money to go buy cheap crap. So when somebody steps in and they actually significantly help you, instead of going out and buying cheap crap, now you got quality stuff. So now all of a sudden you're not throwing good money after bad. These are the ways in which you help the homeless that are ambitious, that want to go out there and do the things that they need to do to be able to get up. It's like, it's not really like a handout. It's more like a, here, let me help you along, because I see what you're doing. But and the thing is, you, again, how do you find these people? How do you vet these people? You will see them, like, you could tell that I'm if you really look at just the way that I walk and some of my mannerisms and stuff like that, if you're well versed in the homeless community, because you've interacted with us, there are certain tells that I give off that show that I'm a feral human being. And so therefore, if you're able to pick up on those cues, you're able to find the guys like me, because we try not to really portray homelessness. We try and portray the environment that we're in so that we can blend in very well. And it works not only for us, but it also works against us, because I think if society were really able to, see and spot those that were kind of, on the downslide, but trying to work their way up, I think that society, I think that we would have a completely different outcome as far as that goes. And it would be helping, at least at this point in time, because the system's not set up to even, end homelessness, fix homelessness, or do anything to mitigate homelessness other than just providing basic resources. So at the end of the day, at least until we get the proper infrastructure set up, this is how you find the homeless that you would like to help, the ones that are probably get the least amount of help, that are probably doing the most to get themselves out of their situation. This is kind of how you find them. It's just like where you hear all these TikToks or shorts where these girls are saying, where are all the guys at? Oh yeah, he's at the supermarket buying a TV dinner. Yeah, because he's not looking for, And so in the same way, those of us that are out here that are doing our own thing, we're not necessarily out there looking for this or that. We're trying to do our own thing to get up on our own feet. So I hope for those of you that were asking, like, how can I help the homeless? How do I find and vet the homeless and decide, like, do I want to help them or can I help them? Or am I throwing good money after bad? Because you hear a lot of people that get jaded because either the homeless person didn't want the help, or something else. And there's been times as of recently where I'm starting to turn it down, because it's like, I'm taking care of you. It's not that I don't like you or anything else like that, or that I'm mean. What it is I'm taking care of, I'm living comfortable enough to where me taking what you have to offer, although I know you want to offer it in kindness, there's somebody else that you can help that probably needs it a little bit more than me. But a lot of us out here, especially those of us that have been out here long term, we look at it like this: you only get so much water in your glass every day, and if you start taking out more water than you're getting every day, you start running a deficit, and then eventually you burn out all of that good juju. So you never want to take more than what you need and more than what's necessary. And so therefore, sometimes when you're getting turned down, you might be getting turned down for that specific reason, or the person might just be having a bad day. People are mean to the homeless and mistreat us a lot. And there's a lot of, even within the homeless hate homeless. We're not nice to each other. And so therefore, there might be other issues that's going on within the homeless community. It's just got them in a foul mood. So don't take it personal. But, you also gotta sit back and look at the bigger picture of what's going on. So I hope this helped, guys. I hope to see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Share this video if you think it's valuable. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. See you in the next video.